What would happen if we completely rethought the nature of work? In this video, I'm going to share a simple thought exercise we can use to transform the way that we view and structure work. So a common exercise for strategic thinkers when they're thinking through a project and how to make it better is they'll go back and they'll say, what would happen if we just went completely back to the drawing board? What would happen if we completely disassembled this project or this company or whatever it is and then rebuilt it, literally going back to the drawing board? It's something that it helps us see what we can improve by completely disassembling and then reassembling it, seeing the errors that we made and how we can improve upon them. And it's something that can give us an entirely new perspective that we can explore, some new opportunities to explore that perhaps we hadn't even thought of before because we've been too close to the project or the company. So what if we did that on a grander scale? What if instead of just looking at one project or one company, what if we brought that thought exercise to re-examine the way that we work in general, just overall? And this is something that you can do for your company or specific team projects, is rethinking how we structure work. And I have an interesting personal example of how I used this thought experiment recently. So I'm a big fan of Gaia, which is a platform kind of like Hulu or Netflix, where they have all sorts of content related to spirituality, and they have yoga classes and Pilates classes. It's a really great platform, and I highly encourage you, if you're interested in any type of consciousness raising type content, they've got it on Gaia. And I recently watched a program called Hidden Origins by Michael Tellinger. And Michael Tellinger is a researcher and political advocate or activist in South Africa. And his program was very interesting. It's definitely a rabbit hole type program where he goes back and looks at ancient civilizations and where did we come from? Where did the world start? And what was society like before we have our modern history? It's really some interesting concepts that he shares. But the one thing that really intrigued me was his concept about society not having money. What if our culture had evolved without having money the way we know it, or without people working for money? And he's actually created a whole new system that he advocates in South Africa called Ubuntu. And it's all about contributionism, where people contribute instead of having an exchange of money. And you can learn more about it by going and checking out his website or going to the Gaia program and learning about it. And whether you agree with this philosophy or not, it's just an interesting thought exercise. What would life in our society look like if we didn't have money as our means of exchange? If working was something that we just simply enjoyed doing and there wasn't the kind of monetary gains that we see right now. So it's an interesting thought exercise just to go back and re-examine what would it look like. And that's one of the things that I think Michael Tellinger hit on in his program that he shared that's objectively verifiable, is that the current way we structure work is causing a lot of people to be unhappy, exhausted, and constantly striving just to get by. And what if instead of feeling tired, burned out, overwhelmed, overworked, and unheard, work was focused on drawing out each person's unique talents and abilities in a way that empowers and energizes them? I think that's a message everybody would resonate with if they were able to bring their full self to work and really enjoy what they do. And this isn't some utopian vision that I'm sharing here. This is something that we can do. We can create a new way of working by shifting the nature of work. And it's going to require conscious leadership and conscious leaders who are willing to chart a new path. It means we're going to need to fail and iterate quickly. And we can demonstrate to the world a new way of being. I'm all about being the change we want to see in the world. That's a huge part of conscious leadership. In some of my previous newsletters and videos, I've talked about some concepts on how we could restructure work so it works for more people. That could be something like increasing flexibility for employees, especially right now in the middle of a pandemic. So many parents with children at home, they need a lot more flexibility in their work life. Or what about instituting a 20-hour work week instead of 40-hour work week? Is that something of the past that perhaps we can move into a new way of being at work where in 20 hours we could get done the same amount of work and get more out of life, do more of the things that we enjoy doing, perhaps doing a yoga class or teaching yoga, something like that. Or maybe it's hiring a lead wellness officer, someone who comes into the organization and totally looks out for the professional development and well-being of all team members so that they're performing at peak optimum performance. That sounds like a really great way that we can change the workplace. Or what about flattening the hierarchy so that it truly empowers all team members, not just a few? What if we explored some of these concepts and started bringing them into our workplaces? These are just a few of the ideas. I mean, this is not comprehensive at all. These are just a few things that we can start trying out. And some organizations and companies are doing them right now, and they're having great success. I know lots of companies that are instituting flexible work hours, 20-hour work weeks, how they structure compensation. There's all sorts of ways to do this that can truly empower your team and make working something that isn't just drudgery that you get through, but something that you really enjoy, and it becomes a whole part of your life. It becomes part of who you are and who you are becoming. So, advances in technology are really making this possible. They're making this type of innovation extremely feasible for so many companies now, especially high-speed internet, technology, Zoom, all these different things that we use. I firmly believe that the leaders who capitalize on this technology for increasing the well-being of their teams, they're going to be on the cutting edge of the future of work. They will be considered the thought leaders and the gurus of tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, I don't mean like years from now. I'm talking about like in the next few months and over the next couple of years. They are the ones that are going to be on the cutting edge. So my question to you is, how will you, as a conscious leader, help usher in this new era of balancing well-being with true team building and work? The first step, in my opinion, is to continue to work on increasing your own level of consciousness through self-development and coaching. I'm all about the conscious leadership coaching, so reach out to me. Let's talk about this. And also, how are you going to extend that same opportunity of consciousness raising and personal and professional development to your team? How are you providing that to them right now? The future of work is all about abundance, opportunity, and happiness for all. And it's the conscious leaders like you who do that personal development, who bring it to your teams. You're the ones who are going to create that for the future. So if you want to learn more about this, you can go check out my newsletter. It's meredithattorney.substack.com, or you can go to my website, meredithattorney.com, or you can send me a note, meredith@meredithattorney.com. I'd love to talk to you more about these concepts because I get very excited about them, as you can tell. And I'm all about helping raise up those conscious leaders that are going to help change the way we work and help move us into the future of work. And in the meantime, I hope that you will work happy, live happy, be happy. Bye.